Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a new hairstyle. You can see I was trying, by the way. I'm not good with this hair thing, just braid. And yeah, so today it's Tuesday. I was about to say Wednesday because I was working yesterday on Monday and I don't normally work on Monday, so I told you, like I said before, my schedule changed from time to time. So I was working yesterday and now today's Tuesday and I'm here to tell you about my Gulf experience. Yes, but before that, let me say I'm seeing your messages about the question you're asking about Nina Kea and why you're not accepting Kenyan au pairs. I mean, that's the information I'm getting, so that one I will do it later. But first, let's talk about my Gulf experience. If you know me very well, you know that I was working as Kadama Shagala there in Gulf country. And when I mean Gulf country, I mean I was in Qatar for almost 2 years, and then I went to UAE and I was living in Abu Dhabi. This is what I allow you to see and what I want to tell you, but there is some other stuff I prefer to keep them to myself. So let's get into this video, and today I want to talk about, so I have to share my window. Please excuse me for a moment, but the window needs to be boop. Okay, so there is some stuff that are going outside here. So there is like a project they're building here and it's very noisy, especially if you're in my bedroom, because if you open my bedroom window, it's like very loud, like it can even wake you up. You don't even need an alarm in the morning, you just need it. So let me say this, I'm here to talk about my Gulf experience, about how it went when I was working in Gulf. If you know me very well, you know I was working in Dubai, not Dubai mostly, but I was in Abu Dhabi. I don't even know why I keep saying Dubai. I think it's because when I was going there, like I had like this big dream of working in Dubai, and now I had to go to Abu Dhabi. But yeah, let's talk about that. So if you know me very well, you know that I was working before in Qatar and I stayed there almost for 2 years, because I stayed there for 1 year and 10 months. Yeah. And then I got tired and I was like, no, I'm going home. You know, there was like some things that were going on and I was like, no, I don't want to be here. I want to go home. And being my first time traveling on, okay, if I say about something that were going on, I had like a really nice family. The family that I was working with them in Qatar, they were very, very nice, super nice, that I do miss them. I miss them, and I miss the madam that I was working for her. She was really nice. My Waigoro was very nice, and she was super kind, and she had seven kids, but she was really amazing, very amazing. And I didn't have like small kids there, they were all like grown-ups. So the last born was like 20 years old and I didn't need to take care of any baby there, so it was super nice. Sorry that you have to know this now, but that's how it happened. You know why I'm saying sorry. So the thing with working there for that family, I was mostly I was cleaning and everything, and it was my first time traveling, and I stayed with the family for 1 year and 10 months, like I said before, and I had like an amazing experience. And we were working in the house, the two of us. I was supposed to be cleaning and the other one was supposed to be cooking and everything. So that's what it was happening. And to be honest, I really did enjoy my stay in Qatar. I was super nervous when I was going there for the first time, because I didn't know what to expect. Like, I didn't know how it's gonna be there. I didn't know what to expect. It was my first time traveling. I was super nervous, but I didn't want to think about it, because even my own family were like, Mary, don't go. You know, you never know what can happen there. There is people dying there. You don't need to go there. You can just stay here. But I don't listen. I want to take risk. Like, I want to jump to the conclusion. Should I put it that way? But I'm not the kind of a person that will stay there and just be wait. And I'm like, no, I'm so scared. I don't want to take the next move, or I'm so scared. I don't want to speak up. Or, I'm so scared. I don't want to say this, because for me, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take the risk, and that's just the person I am. Like, I want to go and see what others are seeing there. Like, if your experience cannot be as my experience, I have my own experience, and you have your own experience, and other people have their own experience. So I went there and I stayed for those months that I stayed there, and honestly, I'm going to miss that family like for the rest of my life, because they were so amazing. But I lost out the communication with them. We don't communicate anymore, but we don't need to communicate, because I was just there to help with the work, to work for them, and just live. Because in this life you meet a lot of people, and it doesn't mean like you have to communicate with them all the time. So how I went there, it was a dialect hire. So that's the kind of risk I took, because my friend was working there. Kate, if you're watching this video, I love you so much, and you have been so, you know, like, you came and you taught me how to be brave, and you told me to take the risk just as much as you did. And our friendship has been really amazing, and I love you. I love the person you are, and you are so amazing. Kate, if you see this video, I know you're watching my videos. So what I will say is that she's the one who got the family for me, and I traveled to Qatar, and I was like super nervous when I reached at the airport. Like, I was like, oh my god, what am I good? What will I do here? Why did I come here? Like, I'm so scared. But at the first time, I don't want to think I'm scared. I was focusing on how sleepy I was, because I didn't sleep at all. Like, the whole time I was trying not to sleep, because I didn't want to miss my flight. It was my first time traveling, and I didn't want to miss my flight. Like, I just wanted to leave Kenya, because for some other personal reasons, I just wanted to leave. Yeah. So I went there and I stayed there, and I loved it, and it was amazing, until I had to go back to Kenya, and I went back to my country. I will not tell you all the details about my stay in Doha. Just know that I had a great experience working in Qatar, and for the family I was working with them, it was such amazing journey, and I loved it. So here we go. So when I came to Kenya, I was talking to another girl. She was working in Dubai, but she told me that she was like, you hear so much stories about Dubai, or you hear so much story about UAE, the way people they describe it, and don't believe what you hear. Just come here and experience it about yourself. When you talk about working in Dubai, the first thing comes in your mind is like a working paradise, like you're working in paradise, or something like you will have a great experience. Or some of my friends are having a great experience, but for me, nothing was great about Dubai, because a lot of things happened when I was working in Abu Dhabi, and the way I went there, I don't even know, because it was not so good. It was not like something I want to remember. But at the first time of my life, I feel so good speaking about this, because the more I speak about this, the more I feel like I'm hearing from it. So I went there and I stayed in my first house. I went to my first house there, and I was taking care of 2 kids, and the hosts, they were from Morocco. So when I was with them, like, for 1 week, we were like 2 ladies there. One was my coworker was from Morocco as well, and then we were working at the same house. But the host mom there, she was like not super nice or not super kind, because she said she didn't want to hire an African. She wanted a Filipina. I'm sorry to put it that way, but that's what she said. And she said her husband forced her to hire an African. And the kids loved me. The kids, I was loving them. I have like this great connection and bonds with the kids, and I love it. Like, if I go allow the kids, like, we connect really well. Doesn't matter where I go, like, we do connect really deep with the kids. And I love the kids, but from the way things were going there, I couldn't stay there any longer. Like, I stayed there for a week. I told the family and the agency that me and them, we don't match at all, so I want to go back to the office and change the house. But the host man, first, she didn't want me, and the second, when I wanted to leave, she didn't want me to leave. So I was like, please make up your mind, because if I have to stay here with you for 2 years, I'm gonna get really depressed, because this is the first week of me being here, and the experience is very awful. And she said I cannot leave, and she locked me in the house, like in the room where I was sleeping. She locked me. But the good thing about having a great coworker is that she used to bring meals to me, like she could bring fruits to me. But the host mom did allow me, if I want to eat, I can eat. Like, if she, for example, if she cooked something, she told me I can eat, but only eat in my room when they bring it to me. Okay, so that's what happened. So no, actually they didn't come to get me. They just told me to go with to do COVID test. That was the season of Corona. There was like a lot of COVID, and they told me to go and do COVID test, and then someone will come to pick me up and take me back to the office. During that time, then you should know that they had to put like a watch, and when you have that watch and you get registered, like, you cannot live there because you are under quarantine. So that's what happened, and I stayed there for those days until it was complete. And later, when the office came to get me after I did my COVID test, I went back to the office, and then I went to my second family. And with the second family, honestly, oh my god, it was like a horrible nightmare, because experience were not that great. Like, I went to the family, and the first thing that came to me is like the family that I was working for them. Okay, the grandma is the one who came to take me from the office, and I was so happy because, like I said, I have like a really good connection with the kids. I also have like a really good connection with grandmas. Like, if I see a granny, I just want to connect with them, like, they make me feel so great. Like, they make me feel happy. And she came to the office, like, she did not even interview me, but she told me, first you have to take off the nail polish, because I had like gel on my nails. And she told me, when you go to my house, because my daughter is the one who wants you, and she doesn't like competition in the house, so the first thing you will do is that you have to take your nail polish off, and then your hair, like, I had braids, and she said you have to take them off. Like, if you want to work for her, like, you must look like Kadama. If you know what I mean by Kadama or Shagala, yeah, that one. And I was like, okay, no problem, because for me, I was already tired. Like, I stayed at the office for almost a month, and then I get a family. I stay with them for 10 days. That's almost 2 weeks. And then from there, I'm going back to the office, and then staying back to the office for like 3 days. Ladies coming to take me to another house, and now I have to sorry. And then when I went with her, I felt like this big house, like, it was super huge. If you have worked in Dubai or mostly Abu Dhabi, you know the kind of houses that they are there. They are super big. So I went there and I stayed with the family. The first day, it was great. It was just me and the grandma, and then it was time to be introduced to my real madam, like the boss of the house. Like, when I went to her and I was like, hi, my name is Mary, she didn't even answer me. She just told me, take your bag upstairs. and be ready, you will come and I'll show you what you will do next. And I was like, oh my god, welcome to hell. Like, I was so freaking out. Like, I was like, what have I done to myself? But at the same time, I wanted money so bad, because I wanted money so that I can go back to my country. I was like, if only I can manage to work for 3 months, that's enough for me to go back to Kenya. I just need money for the flight so that I can go back to Kenya. So I stayed there for 2 days. 2 days. I'm talking about 2 days. The first thing that I got there is that the lady told me to go and clean on top of the roof, like rooftop, like up above, you know, kwa mafati goro, kwa mabati juu. And that's where I went, and when I looked down, I was like, oh my god, if I fall from here, I'm gonna die. And then from there, I was so scared to stay there anymore. Like, when I went there, immediately I started to cry. I was crying so much, and I was feeling like this is not the kind of life that I want. It feels so different. Like, I don't want to be this kind of a person. Like, it was so painful. So the next day, when the lady came and she found me crying, she told her mom, I don't like weak people. Take her back to the office. She's crying just because I told her to go clean on top of the roof. Take her back to the office. I really don't let people see me when I'm crying, but that time I was crying like I'm so hard, like I was so much in pain. I was like, is it really worth it? Like, if I fall here, I can die from there, and it's not worth it. Like, I didn't want my life to be like very short from that. So that's what I did, and I went back to the office. Her mom came and she told me, unfortunately, my daughter said she doesn't want you here, so I'm going to take you back to the office. But she was really nice and kind. She took me to a supermarket, and she bought me some things like snacks, and then she told me that things will work out for me and I should be brave and never settle for less. That lady, she was amazing, honestly. So I went there back to the office and stayed at the office. Remember, when you're working there, you don't have your passport because they keep your passport. The agency, they keep your passport, or the family, so you don't have your passport. Even if you want to go back, you cannot go back because there is no way of going back. You don't have your passport, you don't have money. Even when you go to the embassy, you cannot go home because they have to follow like the right procedure or something. I don't know, but sometimes they suck. Sorry. So let me say this, I went back to the office and I stayed at the office for a few days. And then another lady came to get me. Okay, she didn't come to get me. Back then I had friends. Like, I have already made a friend. Her name was Ruth. And she was like my best friend and more like a sister, because she used to fight for me because I was so quiet and I didn't want to say anything. I was just super quiet. And I was so happy because the lady who was on the phone, she said she wants 2 Kenyans. And if the agency, they knew me and Ruth, we were like really nice friends. And she was like, we can give her Mary and Ruth and then they can go there. So what they did, they gave us to that lady, and the lady did not come to take us, but came to pick us up, and we went there to her house. And from the first day, we didn't like it. It was horrible. But we decided to stay there. Like, I had it's good sometimes when you have like friends who are there to make you stronger, make you feel stronger. Because what Ruth did, it was amazing. She was like, Mary, let's just stay here. We work even for a month and then we just go back to our country. We were just super tired. It's 3 months already being there. We were so tired of it, you know. And we didn't we didn't want to go back to the office because the office wasn't that great. It was like, you are coming from this place where you feel pain and then you're going to another place where you feel pain. So we went there and we used to wake up at around 5:30, take shower, have breakfast, but at around 6:30 we have to start cleaning until 10 in the evening. I was so tired. I told my friend how bad I wanted to quit, and then she told me, let's just keep moving. But in the end, I want to go to the Kenya embassy so that they can send me home, because I cannot do this anymore. So what we did, me and my friend decided to run away. So one day we just woke up in the morning. We have no idea where we can get a taxi. Remember, the house is surrounded. And the family live in a big house, and there is like a lot of families in the house. And we left the house, and then we were walking a lot trying to find the taxi. But and then when we are still fighting the taxi, we didn't even have money for the taxi. And he said he would charge us 12, and he took us to the embassy. We stayed at the embassy for a few days. Not for a few days, it was even for a day. Sorry, my story is not stalling up, because this is a very, very not a good fancy story to talk about, because from my own experience, I didn't like it. I didn't like any experience of it, but I have learned so much. So we stayed there for a day, and then the office guy came to get us, and he took us back to the office, because by then the embassy has already called him, because we told the embassy he has our passport, we cannot go home. And then when the guy came, I don't know what they did talk about with the embassy, but we were taken back to the office. We went to the office, we stayed for a day, and then my friend got a new house at the same time in a different family. And then for me, I stayed there like for 2 days, and then I got a new house where I stayed for almost 7 months. I was working for a family that was not local family. The boss, how do I say it? The baba of the house, he was local family, but the madam was not from there. So they were super busy, and I stayed with them for 6 months, and then I started to get sick. I went to the hospital and stayed there for a day alone. And then when I came back, things changed. My madam was like completely different, and then I had to leave. The house. I cannot go so much deep into details of what happened there, but the things that happened there, they were not so great either. So I went back to the office, and I stayed at the office. I went back to the office today in the morning, and in the evening I have already gotten another family. And the lady told me she has she had 3 kids, and I was like, oh, okay, just taking care of kids, that's okay for me. I went and she told me that in my house is no big, so there is not like a lot of work you can do in the house, but just make sure the kids are ready after school, and make something for them to eat during the day. And but when they come from school, I'll be back at home, and then we can make dinner together. So I went there, and I met this great family. They were super happy, and when they saw me when I went there, they were super happy, and the kids accepted me. We had like a little deep connection with them, the 3 of them. And from there, I was already tired. For honestly, if you go back to my story, I'm just going and going, coming and going, coming and going. Like, there is no rest in between. If you rest, it's just for a day, or you're just coming from a horrible experience. So and with that, I stayed with the family for a month, and then they said they are traveling to their country. and since they cannot make the resident permit for me, so they have to give me to another family. And I said, if that happens now, I don't want to stay here. I just want to go back to my country. And I was talking to my friends, talking to my family, and tell them I just want to come home. I'm already tired of moving every time. Like my body even was feeling so much tired. It was shattering. Like it was like time. So from there, I knew the agency, they will not allow me to go home because if even if you are there for a year, they said if the family takes you back to the office, then you have to start over. Like I've been there almost for a year already, so if they take me to the back to the agency, so I have to start over and another contract of 2 years, and I didn't want that. I was just super tired and super overwhelmed. So what I did from there is that I ran away. I became a runaway. Like no way, I'm dealing with a lot of drama. I just want to run away. And I knew if I go there out there, and for example, if the police catches me, they will take me back to Kenya. And that's all I wanted, to go back home. But unfortunately that didn't happen. But before I ran away, I took my passport from the family and I ran away with my passport and my birth certificate and everything. But unfortunately the family caught me when I was running away. Like they tracked my phone and they caught me. They took the birth certificate and my passport and they kept them with them. And I tried to call them and ask them for my passport back, but they said they have already given my clothes, like a whole suitcase of clothes and my passport and my birth certificate. They have already given them to the agency. And then when I called the agency to get them back, the agency was like, no, actually I'm gonna get you back, and when I get you back there is no way you will escape. And I was like, okay, it's a lost game, so I cannot do this anymore. I'm just tired, so I'm just gonna stay here. So I went to a bed space and I was staying at the bed space. I was trying to find like some hustle. If I get any job, I will do it. And we were like so many girls, like so many. And then we were staying at the bed space. It was like if you get money, you just get money to pay for the bed space and to buy food that you can eat. So we used to buy food together and pay for, like, me and my friend, we got like one bed, so we could pay it was 300 the UAE money. And then we could get we could share the bed. So what we did is that if we get money, me and my friend, we have to pay like half of the money we pay for the bed space, and then the rest we buy food. So we didn't have money to save, we didn't have money to send home to our family, and it was like a horrible experience. I stayed at the bed space almost for 3 months. I was finding like side hustles and I was working part-time. I worked as a cleaner part-time in another company. And then with that company, we were cleaning schools. So we were cleaning schools, we were making money. And then from there, I got another house where because I was already done with the bed space. So I had to find a house where at least I can find a place to stay, save money, buy food, and send money to my family, because I was still paying school fees for my sister, for my two sisters. So I needed to send money home as soon as possible. Otherwise, my sisters will get kicked out of school. And I went there. I stayed with the family for 2 months. And then from there I decided that I don't want to work with them anymore, because the family, they were like a whole bunch of people in the one house. It was like the family that they get married and they stay together in the house. So the house was having so many people, and then when you're done with this, you have to go to the other one. When you're done with the other one, you have to go to the other one, and it was so much overwhelming for me. I went back to the bed space life. I stayed there for a week, and I had a guy friend. He was helping me to get those jobs. He got me another job in another house, but the house was really amazing. The madam there was super nice and super kind. She was living, I think if you go through my video, you will see the video that I did about housemaid in Dubai. That's the video I did. That's the video I did when I was with that family, and I had like a really good experience there. And I stayed with them for a month, and then I was, before this one, sorry, let's go back to the story. Before I went there, I was working in another family where my face was burnt. If you go back to my videos, you will see the videos that my face was burnt, like the whole of my face had scars. You can see there, even my neck hasn't healed so much. If you look at this well, if you look at my hand, where is that scar? If you look at my head, you can see this scar over here. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it really well, but there is like a huge scar here. I think it's adding as well, but it's here. When you're here in person, you can see it really well. I had scars everywhere. I will post a picture here so you can see how I used to look like. And that's what happened. And then I went to the other family. I stayed with the other family, and I was posting these pictures of me on, I didn't care who will see the pictures, but I just wanted to find someone out there to help me to go back home, because I was already tired. I was overwhelmed. I was in pain. I didn't know what will happen next, but I was tired of the whole situation. Like, those are like 7 houses, all 8 or something. The houses I went there, they were like 7 or 8, and it was super overwhelming for me. And I posted the picture and the video, and Lecho, if you have seen my story before, Lecho did a video where she was questioning me, and then from there, Lecho and the other Kenyans, Lecho brought so many Kenyans together. They gave me like 70,000 Kenyan shillings, but it was not enough though, because I had to pay for the ticket, and I had to pay for, what is it called, the one you have to pay for you to go out, because you are already on overstay, because I had like overstay there. So that's what happened. And I also got it's like a really long story with a lot of horrible experience that I prefer not to remember. But like I said before, the more I talk about it, the more I heal from it. And from there, I got a family. No, I didn't get a family. I got someone who was able, my time is running out, the kids are almost home, so I can do this video some other time before. But from what I can tell you is that before I edit the video, I found someone who was able to pay for my flight to Kenya, and she took care of everything. For a week, I didn't have to struggle about what I will eat or how I will sleep, because she paid for, she sent me money, like 300 UAE money. I was able to pay for my bed space for the time I was there, and buy food, so I was not feeling hungry when I was processing my papers. And my story was like everywhere in UAE, and it led to the embassy, and they were able to help me. And I went back to my country, and now I'm in the Netherlands. That's how my story went. And if you want to know more about it, you can ask me questions. The more you ask questions, the more I'm able to remember all of it, and the more I'm able to answer the questions. But what I can tell you is that I don't want to go back to UAE to work as a kadama. Sitaki, wacha nikae Kenya. Staki, wacha nikae home kwetu. So that's what happened. And with that short notice, if you want to know more about my experience as an au pair here, you can see I'm slaying, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy here. Like, I'm not going through those trauma, I'm healing from it. It has taken so much time. I haven't found like the right people to talk to them about the whole situation, because I have like to get to trust someone so much for me to be open up to them. But I do talk to myself, like I write about my pain in a book, and the more I go through the book, the more I discover my strength. Stay tuned for the next video. Ask me any question you might